You've been walking for 7 days, straight through rain that won't quit. No warm bed, no dry clothes, just the next mile and the hope of shelter. He chose a cemetery because it was the only place the locals wouldn't look. What he found waiting among the 19th century graves made him question whether the Dead Mind Company after all. So, what happened? Tonight's first video comes from Derek Outdoors, an Irish hiker who covers serious distance on foot and camps wherever the trail leaves him. No crew, no support vehicle, just a pack and the kind of endurance that makes normal people tired, just watching. Most people would knock on a door and ask for a cup of tea. He pitches his tent in a graveyard. The footage exists, so here we are. It's June 28, 2022. Loughlin, County Roscommon, Ireland.
This is going to be a long day. It looks like it's down for the day, the rain. I don't mind walking in the rain, but it's different on a long trip like this when you're trying to keep everything dry. You're trying to stay warm, trying to stay motivated, and when you don't have a nice warm car or house to jump into, you know, it's a lot different. But just keep walking. The only thing you can do is keep walking through it and know that it's not going to last forever. Literally, I'm not saying that as a motivational kind of ploy for whoever's watching. That is literally all you can do, because otherwise you're just going to get miserable and want to stop.
Day 7 of the trek and the Irish weather is living up to its reputation. Relentless rain, cold seeping through the waterproofing, fatigue settling into his legs with every step. He passes village homes with lights in the windows, fantasizing about being invited in for something hot, something dry. But there's no vehicle waiting, no friend with a car. Just the road ahead and the need to find somewhere to sleep before dark.
What a day. What a day. Let me check this out. I'm pretty much right at the centre of an ancient graveyard for priests, I believe.
Night settles fully, and the world goes quiet, not just hushed, completely silent. Derek notices it immediately. Even the birds have stopped, leaving him alone in total darkness with nothing but rain on nylon and the weight of being surrounded by graves. He doesn't speak. The camera doesn't move. The silence presses in from every direction. Morning brings a discovery. After a surprisingly peaceful sleep, he explores the ruins of the old church attached to the cemetery. Walls crumbling, floor overgrown. And among the ruins, old weathered remains long exposed by centuries of collapse and time. Not a recent thing, just the quiet reality of a very old burial ground that the years have slowly opened up. He packed up quietly after that, left no trace as always, but carried something out with him that wasn't in his pack. The night had been restful, almost protective, but the morning delivered a reminder that some places hold on to their history differently. He kept walking toward Castlerea, 7 days becoming 8, the rain still falling. I'd have been gone at first light, but Derek just noted it, filmed it, and moved on with the kind of acceptance you develop when the road is your only home. That was genuinely unsettling. A ruined castle in North Wales doesn't sound like the worst place to spend a night. Just stones and stories, tourist trails, and tea shops. But when the sun drops and you're camped in the woods beneath a tower named after a woman long gone, those stories start feeling less like history and more like warnings. This is what he found. The second video tonight comes from Gaziano Outdoors, a UK channel where Gaz spends his weekends solo camping, in places that look scenic on Instagram, but feel different after dark. He mixes bushcraft with ghost stories, cooking over fires in locations where other people hear bumps in the night and check into hotels. Most people visit Gritch Castle for the architecture. He pitched his tent in the woods below it. He made it out with the footage. It's September 13th, 2023. Gritch Castle Estate, Abergele, Wales.
Really? Yeah, we're camping in quite a creepy woodland in the grounds of Gritch Castle, which was the castle used in the I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here series in Wales. But yeah, just over the way there's Emily's Tower as well, so I'm going to check that out in a bit. Yeah, it's a really interesting place, really. So yeah, I'm camping in this tonight, the Helm 1 Compact. My brother's just setting up the Van Gogh blade. Yeah, we've left it a bit late really. We're exploring the forest all day. We've had a little walk up to Emily's Tower. We've explored some caves as well, just along the way.
Gaz finds his spot in an open section of woodland. Not ideal, he admits, but he had to avoid the active badger sets scattered through the area. He pitches the tent as the light fades, already talking about the atmosphere, the way the trees close in, the feeling that this particular patch of forest has been left alone for reasons that predate tourism.
On this Gritch estate, he said a white lady, which could be Emily herself, walks this woodland. Well, it's just a really interesting place, really. The views out the window. Yeah, nice views too.
Daylight exploration takes him to Lady Emily's Tower, an 1830s folly perched on the hillside, built as a summer house, now a shell. Gaz runs through the legend. The White Lady, believed by locals to be Lady Emily herself, said to haunt the estate and the woods below. He tells it like local color, something to spice up the video, but his voice drops lower as the sun starts sinking behind the castle walls.
We've got some good footage there, setting up a trail camera. Could hear a bit of rustling last night around the tent. Early hours, 4 in the morning. Wouldn't be surprised if it was badgers. Brother's just packing away his tent now. Just having a little walk back to Lady Emily's Tower. Just approaching the tower now. Nice little walk through the pine forest. Another tree come down here.
Morning arrived without incident. Wet gear, hot coffee, the mundane business of packing up. Gaz walked back up to Lady Emily's Tower in daylight. The White Lady absent, the rustling explained away as wildlife doing wildlife things. Probably badgers, almost certainly badgers. But at 4 a.m. in the dark, beneath a haunted castle, probably isn't the same as definitely. I think I'll stick to campsites with proper facilities. Yeah, I'm good on sleeping under haunted follies for a while. 6 p.m. and the light is fading fast in ancient woodland, where the trees have been growing since before your grandparents were born. He's got a bivy bag, a dehydrated meal, and the kind of solitude that starts out peaceful and ends up psychological. But darkness has a way of speeding up when you're somewhere you shouldn't be. You need to see what happened next. The third video tonight comes from Rambling On, a channel where one guy tests minimal gear in Irish and UK woodland with the relaxed attitude of someone who hasn't yet learned that the forest gets louder when you're alone. Bivy bags instead of tents, tarps instead of walls, and the honest truth about what happens when night falls and your imagination wakes up. Most people check into a Travelodge when the weather turns. He lies on the ground and listens. The camera kept rolling. It's May 1st, 2022. Ancient woodland near a river, United Kingdom.
With them, they're all okay. I don't like not having signal. Obviously, if something happens to me, I need to be able to contact someone, but I'm more worried about something happening at home and them not being able to contact me. Probably won't be able to relax too much. I'll try and get more signal later on.
The snug-pack hooped bivvy goes up fast. No poles, no drama. Just a thin layer of fabric between him and the elements. He walks the tree line hunting for signal, gets one bar long enough to text his wife, then settles back with a cup of tea and a dehydrated meal that looks like brown sludge and tastes like survival. The woods are calm. The darkness is complete. He talks about the solitude like it's a feature, not a warning.
And I could have sworn I heard something sniffing right there in the darkness. It did freak me out now, I have to say. I jumped up, absolutely jumped up. So yeah, I didn't see anything. I was expecting a fox or a badger or something like that. I'm not too far away from the river and it's just nice, like it's not too loud. So I can hear things around me. Probably a bit too much. It's not the first time that I thought I heard something.
The sniffing comes from nowhere, wet, heavy, right next to his head in the pitch black. He leaps up, heart hammering, expecting to lock eyes with a badger or catch a fox mid-investigation. But there's nothing. Just darkness where something should be. Silence where there was breathing a second ago. He stands there with the flashlight beam cutting empty air, wondering if the woods are messing with him or if something else is.
A very small twig off a tree fell down and just hit me in the leg and I absolutely shot myself. And I've just really freaked myself out. My mind is kind of messing with me a bit. I've had a thought that I can't get out of my head. What would you do if you're out in a really pitch black forest like I am right now and you flicked on your torch looking out into the woods and there was someone standing there? That is what my mind is doing to me right now. I just don't need it. I don't need it. I'm not turning on my torch all night now.
The next trigger is literal. A tiny twig falling from overhead, tapping his leg in the dark. He jumps out of his skin, and that's when the paranoia crests. His mind races ahead to the moment he turns on the flashlight and sees a stranger standing between the trees, watching him. The thought is so vivid he kills the light completely, lies back down in total darkness, choosing the terror of imagination over the terror of confirmation. He made it to 5 a.m. somehow. No light, no relief, just controlled breathing and the slow realization that morning always comes, eventually. When the sun finally filtered through the canopy, he laughed at himself over tea and biscuits, packed up and cleaned up trash left by previous campers before walking out. The sniffing was probably a deer. The twig was just gravity. But at 2 a.m. in a bivvy bag, probably isn't a currency you can spend. I'm not sure I'd have kept the light off. But he chose darkness over discovery. And maybe that's the smarter play. That was creepy in a very real, very human way. You've been hiking for hours to get away from people, from roads, from cell towers. Just you and the Blue Ridge Mountains, and whatever lives in the parts no one visits. He found something. Not the cryptid he was looking for, but something that threw rocks and watched him sleep. It gets worse from here. Tonight's fourth video comes from Deep Woods Protocol, a channel that treats Bigfoot hunting like serious field research instead of weekend entertainment. Solo expeditions, remote locations, gear heavy enough to suggest he expects to find something. Most people look at the Blue Ridge Mountains and see pretty views. He sees evidence waiting to happen. Let's see what happened.
Hold up on this dead crow. This was not here earlier. I was here a couple hours ago, and this was not here. That's sketchy. Looking for... Ooh. Ooh. It's like a cat or... Whoa! Whoop, 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 whoop. No, 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 nope, 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 nope. Ooh!
The rock comes out of nowhere, heavy, skipping across the ground beside him with real force behind it. He shouts, a raw sound of genuine fear, and runs. No hesitation, no bravado, just instinct carrying him to the truck, where he slams the door and sits there shaking, staring at the tree line he just escaped.
Crickets, is that a howl? It's all around me right now. I'm looking everywhere. I don't see anything. Oh, wow. It is so loud with the insects right now. That was a whoop. I don't like this, guys. I don't like being here right now.
I stayed in this location for 2 more hours without any other unexplained happenings. I drive in the direction of the whoops I heard to set up a place to try and get some sleep and surrender to the open woods. This was a decision that led to me having my first real test in these mountains.
Okay, I've come up with a solution. It is not ideal.
Inside the cab, engine off, window cracked. He listens. The crickets are deafening, a wall of white noise, but cutting through it come the whoops, animalistic, echoing, from multiple directions at once. Not coyotes, not owls. Something responding to his presence, coordinating, tracking him through the dark with sounds that don't match any cataloged species.
All right. I was asleep, and I just heard clear as day, clear as day, the loudest wood on wood boom. That direction, on the other side of the river, maybe, maybe 150 yards. And I heard rustling back behind my head over here, but it sounded big. But I got up and I checked and there was nothing. I saw nothing. I laid back down, and when I woke back up, that's when I heard. It's wood on wood, without a doubt. Oh boy. Well, I'm not going back to sleep. That was a stupid idea. There is no mistaking what that was. That was wood on wood. That's the loudest knocking noise.
He forgot his tent, the kind of mistake that becomes serious when you're being tracked. He sleeps exposed by the truck bed, just a sleeping bag between him and the mountain. The wood knock comes at midnight, massive, booming, tree-on-tree impact from 150 yards across the river, and simultaneously, rustling directly behind his head. Heavy footsteps in the leaf litter, close enough to touch. He lasted another hour, sitting up, flashlight sweeping, feeling eyes on him from every direction at once. Then he broke, packed everything by torchlight, drove out on roads he could barely see, left the mountain to to whatever claimed it. He'll go back, he says, better prepared. But there's no real preparation for being watched by something that throws rocks and knocks trees. Started as research, ended as escape. I'm still trying to process how close that rock came. That was absolutely not okay. What makes someone pitch a tent in a place the locals call haunted? For this explorer, it's the challenge of the forbidden. The test of spending a night where others whisper warnings. But when the warning shows up at 2 a.m. carrying flashlights and speaking in tongues, the test becomes something else entirely. Let's see what happened. Tonight's fifth video comes from Wayne Outdoors, a UK channel where Wayne turns stealth camping into an art form, finding spots no one would think to sleep, then actually sleeping in them. Dense woodland, abandoned structures, places where the darkness has weight. Most people see a scary story and change the channel. He packs a trail camera and a sleeping bag. This is what came back. It's October 24th, 2022. Dense, isolated woodland, somewhere in the United Kingdom.
I've just been talking to an old bloke who was telling me a lot of things about what goes up in this fucking wood. Hear that? No, we talked to a bloke up there, and I thought he was a gamekeeper, deer stalker, hat on dog, patterdale, walking stick. No, apparently he's not. He's just telling me some great stories about round here. And I tell him I'm camping like, and he says, yeah, you'll be alright. And he told me about this place in here, where there's all these plastic chairs, and they used to go down here praying, right, when they couldn't go to church. And I says, that's where I'm camping like, where they've all been praying. And it's just the so I asked him like, is it alright if I camp like? He says, yeah, you'll be alright. Fucking hell, fuck it, here we go. Right, I get tent up, it's getting dark. See you in a bit. I don't know if you can see it like, but that's them chairs. There. Right, I'm gonna get tent up. Fucking peasants are out. See you in a bit. Get tent up. Right, all set up now. Tent's up, bedding's up. Trail cameras out, sorry. Let's see what tonight brings. It's 7 o'clock. Time for some food. I'll see you in a bit.
Before the sun drops, he meets a local, an old man who tells him about the church group that used to pray down here, among plastic chairs hung in the trees. Wayne listens, nods, pitches his tent anyway. By 7 p.m., the darkness is absolute, his camp is dark, and the trail camera is recording nothing but silence. The kind of silence that makes you wonder whether you're actually alone or just being watched quietly.
Hear that owl? It's right close, that. Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
The footsteps don't creep, they walk with purpose. Heavy movement breaking through the underbrush, close enough to touch the tent walls. Wayne's whisper is panicked and hushed. Did you hear that? It's really close though. Did you hear it? He peers through the mesh and sees them. Figures moving through the black woods. Bright flashlights cutting beams through the trees, navigating with confidence toward his position. His camp is dark, hidden, and they're close enough that he can hear their voices.
Good morning. That was interesting last night. People up down here with torches. People in woods. Didn't see no gobbledygooks though. Now, I think it's about 7:45 now. So I'm just about packed up. Just got 10 to drop. I'll check my trail cam. No, it's on there. So I'll go back down there now, drop my tent, and I'll have a chat with you before I sign off. I'll see you in a little bit. That's where I was last night. The saying goes, leaving the shit. I'll have another chat with you when I get onto the path out the outside of the wood. A bit dark in here. So that's the haunted woodland camp done. Not really went off though, to be honest. Just people with torches last night. People walking through the wood. Didn't see me though. So yeah, I just thought I'd do something a little bit different. Try to put a bit better content in. So if you like the video, give us a thumbs up, stick us a comment in, and same as always, thanks for watching. And
Morning brings answers he didn't expect. Packing up at 7:45 a.m., Wayne explains what he couldn't see in the dark. A group of people walking the woodland track with torches, speaking what he describes as gobbledygook, some language he couldn't place. They passed within feet of his tent without ever knowing he was there. The darkness that hid him from them also hid them from him until they were already too close. He walked out looking for the old man, wanting to ask about the church group, the nighttime walkers, and whether the two were connected. Whether haunted meant ghosts, or just people who came here to do things they didn't want witnessed. He never found the old man again. Started as a test of nerve against folklore, ended as a lesson in how little you actually know about who's sharing your darkness. You couldn't pay me to camp somewhere the locals warn you about. But then again, I'm not Wayne. That was weird in a very specific, very British way. You've probably met a stranger on a trail, exchanged nods, maybe talked gear, then gone your separate ways. But what if that stranger knew the old stories, the guardian gods, the runes for healing? And what if losing your phone in his territory revealed exactly why some people belong to the woods more than others? Let's get into it. The sixth and final video tonight comes from West Country Wild Camping, a Dartmoor-based channel where Ash hikes into the landscape and lets it work on him. No jump scares, no cryptid hunts, just gear tests, river swims, and the occasional encounter that changes the shape of the trip. Most people go camping to escape other humans. He pitched at Chalk Ford and found a Viking who knew the old ways. It's May 11th, 2022. Chalk Ford near Buckfastleigh, Devon, England.
A nice guy called Duncan. I think he said his nickname is the Heathen Gardener. So he works on Dartmoor and shows people around and takes people out on the moors. Very nice chap. Reminded me a bit of a Viking. He had like a long beard, shaved head on the sides, and then a bit of a ponytail on top. Looked like the guy from the Vikings. But he's a very nice guy. He's off to camp further up that way. He says that there's a lot of picturesque camp spots in that direction, and he also said that there is a waterfall about a 10-minute walk if you follow the river, so I may check that out in the morning.
The walk becomes a lesson. Duncan teaching Dartmoor lore as they follow the river. Old Crocker, the ancient guardian of the moor. Rune symbols scratched into bark, one specifically for finding beauty, for calming anger, for settling the mind. Ash films all of it, the waterfall, the symbols, the way Duncan moves through his own mythology, like it's just weather.
A bit of a I lost my phone on the way down to the waterfall, so we've had to scout back and try and find it. Luckily, Duncan has got eyes of an eagle and has managed to locate my phone unbroken. So I've just come back from Duncan's camp. He is hammock camping in between two trees a little bit further up the river.
The bank is mud and false footing, running shoes sliding on slick clay. Ash slips, grabs at roots, slides further down than he climbed, the phone somewhere above him in the undergrowth. Duncan watches from solid ground, then spots it, nestled in the leaf litter, intact, somehow not lost to the river.
Because I knew that I'd lost my phone, it was bugging me. So we had a quick 5 minutes looking at the waterfall. Beautiful, by the way. Karen has gone wild, would love that place for a wild swim. So on the way back, we're looking for my phone. I'm falling down the bank again because these shoes are crap. And there it was, found it in amongst some leaves. So I'm very, very happy that he found it.
Back at camp, frankfurters and a craft beer, Ash reflects on the trip, how the fear of losing the phone mattered less than the gratitude for who helped find it. He slept through a drizzly night, packed wet gear, and walked out changed in small ways. Put yourself there. Phone lost, mud everywhere, a stranger who knows the old gods of the moor. Do you panic, or do you trust the guardian? There's no right answer. But there are definitely better companions to have when you're sliding downhill. That's it for tonight. If you watched all the way to the end, you're either very brave or you made some questionable life choices. Either way, like and subscribe, hit the bell, and click one of the videos on screen. I'll be back soon with more reasons to stay indoors. See you then. And if you made it this far, there was a hidden word somewhere in tonight's video. Drop it in the comments if you caught it.